Bengalis, a civilization introduced into Age of Empires with Dynasties of India DLC. Today, in this attempt, we will try to unfold everything there is about this civilization. As always, let us start with the inspiration behind this new civilization. Bengalis are an ethnic group originating from the region of Bengal. This region stretches from the largest river delta system of the world in the south to the Himalayan foothills in the north. Since time of the Nandas, the region has been part of the greater Magadha Empire. The rule of the realm passed on from one dynasty to another, all the way from the Nandas at around 300 BCE to the Guptas in about 460 CE. Even though till then Bengal had not risen up as a separate empire, but its contribution to the economy and military of the nation has been widely mentioned. Even Greek writers like Ptolemy and Plutarch mentions about an ancient Indian empire somewhere in the eastern river deltas who had remained unbeaten because of their strong elephant forces. Bengal was also an important province for the ruling Gupta Empire because of its fertile soil and maritime placement. With the decline of the Gupta Empire, Shashanka emerged as one of the ambitious local rulers, aiming to seize control of Gaur and its surrounding region. It is Shashanka who is credited to be the first independent king of Bengal. He unified the feudal rulers of Bengal and fought many wars against the kings of Kannauj, Kamarupa, and Thaneswar. After Shashanka's death, the empire of Gaur didn't last long. Anarchy followed into the land. The land had to wait for another 100 years to get a worthy ruler. This time in the form of Emperor Gopala of Gaur, the first ruler of the Pala dynasty. The word Pala stood for protector in ancient Prakrit, and so they did, generation after generation. Gopala unified Bengal and was succeeded by his son Dharmapala. It was during the reign of Dharmapala and his son Devapala that the Pala dynasty reached its greatest height. And this is where most of the attributes of the Bengali civilization in the Age of Empires has been taken from. Dharmapala is said to have expanded his influence in the northern parts of India, most notably to Kannauj, which had become the greatest city of northern India. Dharmapala subdued the Pratihara vassal, who ruled there and installed his own vassal. This was the beginning of the long-lasting feud between the Pratiharas and the Palas. The Pratiharas retaliated and defeated Dharmapala. Later they themselves were defeated by the Rashtrakutas. As the Rashtrakutas moved to their southern realm, Dharmapala struck back at Kannauj. This chain of events continued for years and famously came to be known as the tripartite struggle for Kannauj. Dharmapala was a strong supporter of Buddhism. He is said to have granted 200 villages to Nalanda University to revive it. He constructed many famous Buddhist monasteries, Somapura Mahavira, which is the inspiration behind the wonder of the Bengali civilization, being one of them. After Dharmapala, Devapala, his son from a Rashtrakuta princess, Rana Devi, took over the reign of the realm. Devapala is the main protagonist in the Bengali campaign named after him. It is said that his victory over Kamrupa came easy as the king surrendered on the sight of Devapala's large elephant corpse.
Pala elephants! We are doomed!
Devapala had rebuffed successfully the advances of Mihira Bhoja of the Pratiharas. His reign is said to have spread as far as modern-day Afghanistan, where he took on the Kambojas, a Central Asian clan. Kamboj was famous for his horses, and Devapala is said to have these horsemen as mercenary regiments in his army. There is some description of his march to the south, where he might have faced off with Amogh Varsha of the Rashtrakutas or Sri Vallabha of the Pandayas. Even for his southern victories, his focus laid mostly in northern India. Devapala can truly be counted as an uncontested ruler in Indian history. Like his father, he too was a patron of Buddhism. Now let us take a look into the unique benefit that this civilization offers us in Age of Empires. Starting with the technology, let's talk about the first unique technology, that is pikes. The technology of pike, which is available in the Castle Age, offers the Rathas and elephant units 20% faster attack. This more than compensates for the absence of thumb ring update for the Bengalis. The historic link here is somewhat unclear to me. Pikes were known to be commoners in the eastern region of Ahom, who offered their services to the state in exchange for cultivable land. As we know, Palas had occupied parts of Ahom region at times, and maybe that is where the reference came in. Other than that, I could not find any connection between pikes and having faster bows. The second technology is Mahayana, an imperial age technology. With this technology, villages take up minus 10% population space, which means we can afford to have more villages with lesser burden on the population cap. Palas being the patrons of Mahayana Buddhism, this addition kind of makes sense, as it could certainly hinder the prosperity it brought to the realm. Another unique bonus that ties in with the villages is the Bengali town centers, which spawn two villages whenever a new age is reached. If there are multiple town centers, each one of them will spawn two villages each. These combined effects can play a great role in booming the economy for the civilization. The other bonus that comes with the civilization is for the elephant units, who receive 25% less bonus damage and are more resistant to conversion. This is a great nod to the fact that the realm of Bengal was always known for its elephant corps. Even during the ancient Kurukshetra war of Mahabharata, the king of Vanga, which is an old name for the same Bengal region, is said to have brought along with him 10,000 elephants, as huge as hills. A region which was so obsessed and known throughout history for its elephant corps demanded to have some, if not more, such elephant related buffs. The last bonus that comes with the civilization is to the naval ships. They regenerate 15 HP per minute. The region of Bengal was described often as a thalassocracy, with strong links to the island nation of Sri Lanka. During the Pala reign, the trade routes from Bengal were said to have been from Abbasid Empire in the west to the Srivijayan Empire in the east. So this bonus does offer a nice touch to the naval supremacy that the civilization enjoyed at that point of time. Now let us look into the unique unit that comes along with this civilization, the Rathas. It is a mounted unit which can interchange between melee and ranged attack, one of its kind in the game. It comes at 60 wood and 60 gold, as it does not require any food for training, so players can save their food for elephant units. Rathas or war chariots have a symbolic significance in Indian ancient military. Rathas provided a large platform, used sometimes as a command center for kings and generals, sometimes as a launch pad for archers, and sometimes as ancient tanks. But their utilization in warfare decreased as time progressed. They lost their advantage in an unconventional battlefield and gradually were overshadowed by the use of elephants. So even though the Rathas are a pretty decent castle unit, but from a historic standpoint and keeping the legacy of the elephant corps from the region in mind, it would be better to have some variant of an elephant unit instead. In the next segment, we'll look more into the stats of this unique unit as well as review the available military roster of the civilization. Looking into the roster, we have 3 elephant units available. One for melee, one for ranged attacks, another in form of a siege weapon. Next, we have the already talked about unique castle unit, the Rathas. Among the generic units, they have access to arbalisters, champions and halberdiers, apart from the siege weapons. To find out the ideal ranged option, we place each of the available unit against an anti-archer unit like the skirmisher, valuing to equal resources. The arbalisters do not stand a chance. Whereas the elite elephant archers come out victorious with minimal losses. But the Rathas endure the lowest fatality, and thanks to their higher fire rate and accuracy, they come up at the top. Taking a look into their creation speed and movement speed, the Rathas top the chart again. Now for the best melee unit. The battle elephant and the Rathas in the melee mode are both top tier in hand-to-hand combat, may it be against the paladins or the Persian war elephants. They can easily stand their ground when deployed for equal resources. But again, speed of the Rathas gives them an upper hand when compared to the battle elephants. Ideally, the elephant units are best when deployed in defensive duties because of their higher HP, or when the map lacks wood for whatever reason. For the rest of the scenarios, the Rathas are the best unit option to be deployed. Moreover, having the option of switching them from melee to ranged gives them a massive advantage. For example, here we have 3 Rathas who can never take on 5 Halbedis in a melee combat. But when, with the same number, they operate in ranged mode, they easily can overcome the piked Halbedis. The last, but not the least, looking into our siege elephants. It replaces the battering ram for the civilization, which the elephant unit surpasses both in speed and damage dealt over a given time. To finish things off, I think this is a great and somewhat unexplored piece of history that was brought forward in Age of Empires. For someone like me, who is fascinated by history and lore, this is a great addition to an evergreen game. As for the campaign story, I feel it has been neatly done with the amount of resources and knowledge available today about the Palas. The civilization is pretty buffed up in terms of economy, which really was the case with Bengal in the past. The only one area that boggles me a bit is the induction of Rathas instead of a more robust elephant corp, for which the northern and eastern Indian dynasties were famous for. That was all for today. Please do consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Have a great day. Thank you.